Whenever you're ready. I'd like to call this Board of Health meeting to order. It's October 12th, 2021 at 4:34. May I have a roll call, please?
Andy Kornstrom,
Yes.
Darlene Kleppel,
Here.
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yep.
We have a quorum. Approval of agenda. I'd entertain a motion.
So
So
moved.
move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Andy Kornstrom,
Yes.
Darlene Kleppel,
Yes.
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yep.
I would like to entertain a motion for approving the minutes from the September 13th, 2021 monthly meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Andy Kornstrom,
Yes.
Darlene Kleppel,
Yes.
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yep.
We're now at the part of the meeting where we would accept public participation. Anybody that would like to speak to this board about issues relating to the Champaign-Urbana Public Health District may do so now. I don't think there's anybody on, but we'll give a couple seconds. I think everybody on here is spoken for, aren't they? Peers. All right, seeing no public participation, do we have any correspondence?
No, nothing. Nothing for me.
Wonderful. Old business? I don't think we have any. New business, treasurer's report. Ron?
Hello. As of the end of August, we had cash on hand of $6,279,818. Our total fund balance was a little over $6.7 million, which was 38% of our budgeted expenditures for the year. We ended the second fiscal month with a surplus of $299,000. The annual budget being at $17.7 million with a negative operating balance of $750,000. The total revenues for the first 2 months was $2,261,849, which is about $784,000 behind or under the year-to-date annual budget. Property taxes were right in line. Grants were under the year-to-date budget by $773,000. Fee for services were under their year-to-date budget by about $16,000. Expenditures kind of fell in line with that. They were at $1.9 million, which is about $1 million under their year-to-date budget, mainly due to personnel and benefits. Those were the two that have multiple positions still being recruited. A few other expenses that were below their year-to-date budget was contractual services at $97,000, patient care also at $97,000, supplies at $102,000. Capital outlay was another large one at $342,000.
Thank you, Ron. Any questions for the treasurer? All righty. I'm going to combine the approval of payments to Board of Health appointees. Treasurer Ron Fields in the amount of $480, check request 2471, and attorney Ruth Wyman in the amount of $349.70, check request number 2491. I would entertain a motion.
I move both omnibus.
Thank you, Danielle.
Second.
Second by Darlene. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Andy Kornstrom,
Yes.
Darlene Kleppel,
Yes.
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yes.
That passes 3-0. Approval of payment to Matthews Specialty Vehicles for 50% deposit on CUPHD mobile medical unit in the amount of $95,261.50. Check request number 2320.
Since I would move approval.
I
Second.
have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just a quick, because it's a large expenditure and it looks like an exciting project. Could we get a brief summary on it?
Andy, do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
You'd be better suited.
No, I meant Candy, not Andy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 'cause I'm like, well, I know we're getting the medical unit, but that's about all I can give you.
Andy's been involved in the details of it.
Sure. what we're anticipating is replacing our old mobile, which is now, I think, 16 years old, with a new one. We'll partner with with the refugee, immigrant, and migrant colleagues to provide, among other things, COVID vaccine services and probably some other health services in the future through the mobile. The mobile was picked because it's smaller, so it'll be easier to get around town. It has a restroom and server unit on the mobile, so it'll be more functional for us. And we've got some support from federal partners for the initiative. So I think at this point, I think we decided it was a good time to go ahead and replace the old mobile.
And we got a grant through NACHO for $250,000 to buy it. Then after we had it ordered and ready to go, they wrote back and said, oh, we just found out from CDC you can't buy a mobile unit. So we were like, okay, well, how can we do this? So some weird thing where we're going to be, our partners are going to be leasing it out from us. Our actual probably mobile we're using now too. So, because they work with us on it, but anyway, we're still getting the funds.
Any other questions for staff?
No, thank you for that.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Andy Cornstrom,
Yes.
Darlene Kleppel,
yes,
Daniel Chenoweth.
Thank you. That passes 3-0. My apologies as well. I skipped the review of the monthly credit card statement. Does anybody have any questions regarding the statement? Okay,
No.
Hearing none. Thank you. Approval of payment to GlaxoSmithKline for flu vaccines in the amount of $12,720.44. Check request 2352.
so move,
I will second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Andy Cornstrom,
Yes.
Darlene Kleppel,
yes,
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yes,
That passes 3-0. Approval of payment to Fine Bersoni Inc. for annual advertising in Champaign-Urbana online magazine, Smile Politely, in the amount of $5,000. Check request 2393.
so move,
second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Is it just in Smile Politely, or are there other, is that what the Champaign-Urbana online magazine? And I know Smile Politely, but is that also synonymous with Champaign-Urbana online magazine? Or do
I think
we-
it's the same thing, Andy.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't,
It's just the descriptor I was given when I wrote the agenda item, so I
That's
just,
fine.
yeah,
No, that's fine.
it is an online magazine.
Right.
Okay, I don't know that has a different name.
I didn't know if it was two different entities. It sounds like.
Oh, I see. No, I think it probably should say maybe, Smile
Yeah.
Politely, comma, a Champaign-Urbana online magazine.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. No, that's all good. Any other questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Andy Cornstrom,
Yes,
Darlene Kleppel,
Yes,
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yes,
that is approved 3-0. Determination of the amount of money to be raised by taxation payable in calendar year 2022. I assume staff will offer a little presentation.
So I don't see Mandy in here.
Karen, were you gonna sub in for her, or? I don't want to put you on the spot either.
We may have to,
I'm sorry, I was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
yes.
Okay, yeah, Mandy asked me to fill in if you folks have any questions. She has I believe you probably already got the resolution and Mandy's little summary of the tax levy. So really, I can't add too much to what Mandy already wrote. The levy is its usual 5% more than was levied last year, which after the county abatement amounts to 39.44% more than the extension from prior year. So that's why we have to get, the approval, and we have to, publish this meeting in advance and so on. But I think that it's a pretty standard 5% increase from last year.
My apologies. Thank you. I think we always struggle with this. So Ruth, we're passing the resolution today. Is that correct?
That's
Yes,
my,
I believe that's
my understanding.
Okay. And so I suppose then this particular, well, so the truth in taxation resolution is what we're passing. I mean, really, the truth in taxation is separate from the levy resolution, is it not?
yes, I believe that it is.
Yes, they're two different things. So the levy is what you're going to levy. We're going to levy this year. And then truth in taxation is if it's over 5%, it has to
Right.
be noticed in public hearing.
And so I guess why I'm asking that is I don't see the resolution for levying taxes on the agenda. I see the truth in taxation resolution. What we're on is determination of the amount of money to be raised by taxation payable in calendar year 2022. That's not really an action item because there's not a resolution. And somebody please correct me if I'm missing something.
Well, I believe you need to pass the resolution because you're technically raising your levy has gone up 39%, so it's more than the 5%. So I think you actually do have to pass the resolution that you are going to raise it. So I think that resolution needs to be passed, but I don't think the tax levy is on the agenda for this meeting.
Okay.
And I'll just remind everybody to look on our website for that little description of why it's so weird every time we do this
Ruth,
every year.
Ruth, I think you had your hand up. I'm sorry, Julie. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry, Ruth.
I don't want to get confused here.
It's okay. Yeah. So the resolution starting at page 43 in the packet is, I think, what needs to be voted on. And then that notice of the proposed levy and planned public hearing then gets published as noted in paragraph 5 on page 44. So I think the request and the need is to vote for and pass the resolution 2021-10-01 starting at page 43.
Okay. So then I think that's why I'm confused because it's called a truth in taxation resolution. So it's, we constantly do
So I
this.
think what we're doing is publishing our truth in taxation. As Ruth said, then we have the public hearing and notice of what we're doing with the levy. And then we have, after we offer public notice and potentially public input, then we vote on the levy itself.
Sure, that's,
So
yeah.
that'll be at the next meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
Two-part process.
And the media calls will come tomorrow wondering why we're raising it to 39%. And then we'll explain to them
Right.
that that's it's not actually the
Because that's
case.
definitely more than 5%, right? Yeah.
It is, but it's
Yeah.
not, it's so weird though,
Yeah.
because it's not really, we're not really doing that.
Right.
I always tell folks that if you don't pass a levy, the clerk is always going to bump you down to tax caps. So essentially we could pass a, $50 million, $100 million levy right now, and it still wouldn't change how much taxes are collected because we're
Mhm.
going to be maxed out at tax caps. But if we don't ask for enough money and more money comes in, say Carl comes back on the tax rolls or there's additional development and you don't ask for it, you do not get it back. You do not get that money and you are stuck under tax caps to recoup that money in the future. So
Mhm.
I always tell people it actually doesn't matter how much we levy. If
Right.
we levy like $1 billion and we would still actually get the same amount, and that usually gets them to pipe down. So if that's helpful.
No, that's a
And-
great point. That's true. Yeah. And I go ahead.
Our district is weird too, because we're a special district, we have to, we're comparing apples and oranges, which I've tried to explain with Mandy's help in the graphic on there showing that we have to take the abated amount and then, so it looks like we're comparing we are comparing two different numbers so it always looks like we're going up a ton of money, but we're not really.
Okay, sorry to beat that dead horse. Any more questions regarding, so now actually we're moving on to number 8. If there are no more questions in regards to that. I would entertain a motion to approve the Truth in Taxation Resolution 2021-10-01.
Just a quick point, no process. Did we take a vote on the resolution number 7? I think we had a motion in a second, but I'm not sure, Andy, if we voted.
But there's no that was my original question, is number 7 doesn't have a resolution.
It's kind of just a discussion item, I believe.
Oh, okay, there is a resolution in the packet, but what Ruth was saying is we actually passed that resolution next week. Okay,
Well, no, so that's number 8. So that's why it's confusing. So number 8 is the resolution in the packet.
okay, got it. All right.
So now we're at number 8, approval of taxation, Truth in Taxation Resolution 2021-10-01.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second,
All right, any discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Cornstrom,
Yes.
Darlene Kleppel,
yes.
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yes,
Wonderful, that passes 3-0. Approval of Dell Midwestern Higher Education Compact Master Agreement between CUPHD and Dell Technologies in the amount of $10,476. Check request 2469.
So move,
I will second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Cornstrom,
Yes,
Darlene Kleppel,
yes.
Daniel Chenoweth.
yes,
that passes 3-0. Ratification of service agreement between CUPHD and Republic Services for the time period of March 1st, 2021 through September 7th, 2021.
so moved.
Second,
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Cornstrom,
Yes,
Darlene Kleppel,
yes.
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yes,
that passes 3-0. Approval of subcontract agreement between CUPHD and Ford County Health Department for the period of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
Can we take these together, Andy? All these next ones that are the subcontracts?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Ruth, is that okay if we combine those? All right.
I see no problem in doing that, in combining.
Thank you. Yeah, that'll make it quicker. So we're going to combine these, it looks like 4. Approval of subcontract between CUPHD and Ford County Health Department. Approval of subcontract agreement between CUPHD and Clark County Health Department. Approval of subcontract agreement between CUPHD and Coles County Health Department. And approval of subcontract agreement between CUPHD and Vermilion County Health Department. The terms on all of those contract agreements are July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022.
So move,
second.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Cornstrom,
Yes,
Darlene Kleppel,
yes.
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yes,
that passes 3-0. Approval of CUPHD 2022 holiday schedule.
So move,
second.
Discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Cornstrom,
Yes,
Darlene Kleppel,
yes.
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yes,
that passes 3-0. Approval of laboratory assistant job description. I would entertain a motion
So move,
by Darlene. I will second. Discussion.
is this a new job description?
It is a new job description. And historically, we've had nurses do this job, but we are going to hire a lab assistant to work on doing this for us.
They're easier to get than nurses right now.
Yeah,
Probably cheaper too.
very much cheaper, yes.
Yeah. So I have any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Cornstrom,
Yes,
Darlene Kleppel,
Yes,
Daniel Chenoweth.
yes,
that passes 3-0. I don't see any pending grant contracts for the administrator. Is there anything out there?
Nope.
Perfect. Our next meeting will be a study session if needed, October 27th, 2021 at 10:30. And our next monthly board meeting will be November 8th, 2021 at 4:30. If there's no other business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Andy Cornstrom,
Yes,
Darlene Kleppel,
yes.
Daniel Chenoweth.
Yes.
we are adjourned. It is 4:55. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.